The miseducation of Lauryn Hill is, at first it kind of throws people, you know what I mean, because they automatically think it's about me being miseducated. But miseducation is actually, it's like a metaphor for actually being re-educated.
What if the greatest never wanted the crown? What if a queen stood at the gates of an empire she built with her voice and chose exile over applause? Because Lauryn Hill didn't fall off. She walked away, not out of fear, but out of principle. Not because she lost the fire, but because the world tried to put a price on her soul. And the question that still echoes isn't where did she go, it's why did we expect her to stay? Before the Grammys, before the praise, before the pressure. She was just Lauren from South Orange, a preacher's daughter with a poet's tongue. She memorized scripture and soul samples in the same breath. She wasn't chasing fame, she was chasing freedom. She joined the Fugees and didn't just rap. She resurrected the genre, turned pain into protest, wrote verses that cut like scripture. Then came the miseducation. Not an album, a revolution. She sang like a mother, rapped like a prophet, cried like a sinner, taught like a saint. It was her truth, her therapy, her offering, and the world took it, but wanted more. Imagine this: President Lauryn Hill, no campaign, no press tour, just a vinyl record and a verse that shook the globe. She stands on the White House steps in lossies and linen, not to declare power, but to question it. First order of business? Education must include truth, not just tradition. Second, if your policies don't serve the mother, the artist, and the healer, start over.
Studio, hotel, stage, studio, stage, hotel, studio, stage, and I was expressing, I was expressing everything from my past, everything.
She rewrites the national anthem with a guitar and a gut punch, adds healing to the curriculum, removes profit from the pulpit. Her cabinet: Minister of Heartbreak, Nina Simone; Secretary of Soul, D'Angelo; Vice President, Ms. Badu. She doesn't rule with an iron fist. She guides with an open wound. Lauren's America is soft but unbreakable. It sings lullabies to lost girls. It teaches boys to feel, not fight. In her world, poetry is mandatory. Every child learns self-love before algebra. There are no cliques, only circles. There are no standardized tests, only stories. She turns record labels into sanctuaries, turns fame into fellowship, turns headlines into hymns. Here, there's no such thing as selling out, because nothing is for sale, only shared, only sacred. But the industry doesn't reward resistance. It punishes purity. They called her difficult, diva, delusional, all because she refused to play the part. Refused to smile on cue, refused to betray her spirit. She was sued for writing her own truth, hounded by headlines for missing shows, but never asked why her silence felt safer than sound. The industry wanted her voice, but not her vision, wanted her music, but not her message. And when she started to vanish, they didn't mourn. They moved on. Her betrayal wasn't personal, it was systemic. She wasn't broken. She was breaking free from contracts, from cameras, from capitalism dressed in culture. She disappeared into shadows, not to escape, but to heal. And when she emerged again, raw, late, unfiltered, the world didn't recognize her because she wasn't entertaining anymore. She was essence.
And so I termed the phrase miseducation, not because it was a miseducation per se, but just because it was sort of
But no one taught us how to love an artist who prioritizes truth over tempo, so we labeled her inconsistent, when in reality she was incorruptible. Lauren never vanished. She became a myth. You don't see her on TV, but you hear her in every female rapper who writes from the wound, in every soul singer who refuses to fit the mold. She is the echo in every artist who walks away before they're devoured. Every time someone turns down a deal to protect their peace, that's Lauren. Every time a woman sings truth before trend, that's Lauren. She isn't gone. She's watching. She's whispering to the next generation. Don't trade your voice for volume. So what if Lauryn Hill ran your country? Maybe she already did, not through law, but through lyrics. She taught a nation how to question praise, how to prioritize purpose over popularity.
And be a narrator of my own situation. But the interesting thing was that it couldn't happen while I was in the middle of the confusion.
She gave us one album, but infinite mirrors. She didn't disappear, she transcended. And in a world that measures worth by presence, she taught us the power of absence. Because sometimes, the most revolutionary thing you can do is leave. And the most royal thing you can wear is silence. Lauren didn't walk away from us. She walked toward herself and left the crown on the ground for the next truth teller to find.